Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Our Discuss Kare. In this segment, we discuss about a lot of topics which require a lot of attention. Some good, some bad, some controversial. And one such incident happened in the Chennai versus Rajasthan Royals game, which required a lot of discussion. But before discussing the topic, which is very interesting, which needs a rule change in cricket, I feel I will be joined by Trisha Ghoshal. Hello, Trisha.
Hi,
What's
how
up?
are you?
And I am good. And before we start the discussion, I should ask our viewers to subscribe to the channel and like
Absolutely.
our videos and subscribe and follow our pages like the Instagram page, like the Facebook page. So if I get straight into the discussion, in the Chennai match, Chennai scored 188. Everybody knows they batted well, and then Rajasthan Royals were 87 for two at one point of time, and then they slipped to 95 for 7, all wickets taken by spinners. Now, one incident happened in the 10th over when Jadeja was bowling. Butler hit him for a 6, and it went straight over the boundary into the gallery, and the ball had to be changed. So the
Right.
spinners were bowling with a considerably wet ball. There was not too much dew, but it was still wet. Gripping the ball, as everyone knows, was not that easy. But when the ball had to be changed, when the new ball was brought on, in the 11th over, Bravo bowled over. Then Jadeja bowled the 12th over. He got 2 wickets, and then Moin also got 3 wickets. So that's how the 5 wickets fell. It was considerably easy. Now the rule says that you can't change a ball even if it is wet unless it is lost or it is out of shape or it is in an unplayable condition if the umpire feels so. So there's no allowance for ball change if it is wet. So this thing which happened, it happened by luck and it favored even if it is for 10% CSK. So do you think there needs to be a ball change regarding whenever there is dew or in cricket as a whole? Do you think because one team surely gets an advantage, even if it is for a marginal percentage, one team surely gets an advantage.
Yes, I think the point you're speaking about actually makes a lot of sense because if you take today's match as an example, if the ball was wet, gripping would have been tough. Correct. But my question is, uh, would the ball turn? It was turning. Would the,
Yeah,
I mean, if would that turn be possible if it was not a hard ball? Because a wet ball becomes little not only difficult to grip, but when it when it when it gets a drop also, it doesn't turn that much, right?
well,
And
yeah,
Josh Butler was actually bitten by a turn, the turn,
yeah. Which Jadeja bowled him with the new when
exactly.
Jadeja got him bowled
And
with the
Josh
new
Butler's
ball.
wicket, if you see, it was the most important wicket because he was the one who was on song. And if he was there, probably the partner would have carried on. Or even when, because what happens if one batter is carrying on, then obviously the fielders would have been different, the circumstances. Having said that, I think Punjab made this point of view, like not Punjab, the Punjab captain KL Rahul had said that because of the wet ball they were facing issues during the during
Yeah, because
chases.
there was lot of dew and Jalat Saxena literally had to stop in his run up
Exactly.
numerous number of times. There was much more dew that day.
Exactly. Then Jalat Saxena would have got the same amount of, had he got the same amount of turn, it could have actually been Punjab's match. Correct? And what more, the because of those quick wickets, now if CSK even has 14 points, because for the last two IPL, we are seeing it gets down to that 14, 16 points. And if CSK
Yeah.
has it, they now have a net run rate advantage as well. So, yes, I do think, the only problem in changing the ball when it's wet is how wet do you want the ball to be till you change? What what would be the measurement? Is there something which can measure that how wet the ball is so that we can change it? What are your thoughts on it, Orgo?
See, in T20 cricket, there's one problem. In one day cricket, Earlier, there used to be only one ball, and then after, a new rule came where after the 35th over, another ball used to come in place and replace that old ball. Then that was also changed, and nowadays two new balls are being bowled from either ends. So 25 over of one ball, 25 over of other ball. The problem with T20 cricket is if you introduce two new balls from two ends, the whole match will be kind of, you have to bowl with a new ball, which is again more advantage to the bowlers, mostly to the pacers. So that again tilts the favor in towards the bowlers. Now, again, like you said, how wet, you can't measure that today it's this percent wet, that day
Correct.
that percent wet. It's very difficult. Also, bowlers will always, even if it is not that wet, bowlers will always, especially spinners, will always want a drier ball. So they will definitely say that it's very wet. Now, who determines that? But if things like these happen, one team gets an advantage, another team doesn't. Uh, if you ask me, I don't have a clear cut solution to it. The only thing is that if something can be invented where you can dry up the ball, like now when the ball goes out of the boundary and into the gallery, umpire cleans the ball, like he
Sanitizes it.
applies, sanitizes the ball. Now, if there's any kind of a technology which is applied to dry that ball, every time the ball gets wet, if you can like bring out any machinery which dries that ball off like a blower, which sounds at this point of time a little ridiculous because it hasn't happened, but that can like get rid of these kind of circumstances. But the problem is the seam gets wet, and it's a difficult process. It's not that easy. Also, like you can't dry a cricket ball with a blower. Also, so it has to be something like high tech. What do you think?
Well, I think, also, we have seen a number of times that, like for in broadcast, we have seen the commentators or someone just running their hand and showing the amount of dew. Now, why do I say
Yeah,
this? Is because the umpires are in the ground, right? So they can, try and maybe that's the closest thing that comes to my mind. They can take a call because you have on-field umpires for something, right? So they can take a call that today the dew is more, which is understandable clearly when you're on the ground. It's not something absolutely impossible. Now you might say how much more, but if it's significantly more, then you definitely can change the ball. Or in IPL, because you know that certain places will have more, like certain um, venues will have more effect due to dew. Maybe something for there, maybe there they measure how much dew. The groundsman
yeah,
can play a very significant role, because they would know how much dew exactly is going to affect. So maybe the umpires can work together with them and then take a
yeah,
call
yeah.
instead
Just
of
like the
completely. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just like the light meter shows the reading whenever there's a test match. If something can measure the amount of dew and this particular thing can be said in the law that this amount of dew, if it falls, then the ball has to be changed, whether it is too wet or not that wet. And I think, but in cases like these where balls disappear and can't be found, I think that has to be taken into the stride and we have to move forward because these are what you can say in tennis terms unavoidable circumstances, unforced circumstances, because nobody wanted it to be lost, right? If it had been found or it had been in play, then that ball would have been continued with. What do you think?
But Orgo, one more point. It's clearly said that if the ball is lost, or whenever the ball is changed, the ball it is replaced with should be should have been used for that many overs, right?
Yeah,
So now
yeah.
my
That was
point.
done. That was done in this case also. But the
No, no,
thing is,
I'm
this was a
saying,
dryer
yeah.
ball.
Yeah, but then I was just about to make a point. But you have to have a ball which is, say, a 15 overs. in due circumstances, not a dry one. They changed it
Right.
for 15 overs, right? After
Yeah.
15
But
overs or 14. Yeah,
yeah, the problem is you can't get that circumstance fitted into that ball because
exactly. That's what
the
I'm
ball
saying.
has been lying
You
somewhere
can't
in the box.
replicate the circumstances.
Yeah, because the ball
And
has
that's
been
why
lying
the
in the box and
advantage.
it's a dry ball. You'll not get a wet ball. Like nobody can dip it in
Exactly.
something. That's the problem. So like this
That's
is
why
some
there's
kind of
slight
a glitch.
advantage.
Yeah, and I think this is a small glitch in the game which tilts the favor
Absolutely.
at times, especially when there is dew. I think we should ask the viewers also about their opinions, and
Absolutely. I really want
because
to
it's
know what the viewers think about this. We would love to know, because I know you guys will have some unique ideas. I've seen some great ideas, Orgo. They have often come out of discussions like this, right? So, Orgo and I would love it if you guys can comment. You guys can obviously, follow Sports Addiction in Instagram, Facebook, in YouTube. You should subscribe to our channel. Also, you can follow Orgo and me as well. Like, if you feel like, interacting with us directly, like if you want to abuse Orgo, you can go and do it. You want to abuse me, you can come and do it. Or also, if you want to say good things about us, if you want to discuss, most importantly, come to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter handles, or Sports Addiction as well, and let's interact more. Because see, after all, it's a discussion show. Much like Orgo and I have some pointers, or go what say, they'll also have some pointers, right?
definitely, and for that they need to like, share, and subscribe the channel on all social media platforms and share the videos with your friends. What do you think?
Absolutely. So,
So
at last, all I would like to say is, आओ discuss करें.